Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. If you're new here, I'm Dave. This is Olive. And we want to do a little bit different video today because as we're recording this, today is the 2-year anniversary of when we learned that we lost our friend and fellow booktuber, Pax Panic. So we just want to take a moment to remember her and also share some thoughts about her lasting impact on the community. So if you don't know Pax, if you haven't been around a while, she was, she started BookTube around the same time that Olive and I did. And, when you start BookTube, you kind of, get this little group of your contemporaries and kind of grow up on BookTube together, and you support each other's channels and you chat, you send each other books and all. And she was one of those people for me. And one December, she got diagnosed with very advanced cancer, and she passed away on May 29th, 2023. And so if you haven't been around a while and you've ever wondered why my icon looks like this, it's, Pax absolutely loved the color green. And so she was known for leaving green hearts. And the beginning of her videos always had one of those flatline symbols. So a fellow booktuber who is also close with Pax, Mr. Morningstar, who has since left the platform after she passed away, he had created this symbol while she was fighting cancer. And so Pax was one of the kindest, most loving people that you would ever be fortunate enough to meet. She was always about, she was a very kind of unifying voice in the community, always pumping people up, always sharing things among everybody, bringing people together. And, but sometimes when I think of her often, and sometimes when I do, I'll put on one of her old videos. That's one of the nice things about BookTube is you can still go see her. And one that I keep coming back to, it's a video I've watched a bunch of times, and I think it was called Bookmail and Other Happy Moments. And, in this video, she was very well loved in the community. And so when this was happening, there was a lot of support. And we say that, BookTube was kind of painted green because there was green hearts everywhere. Somebody made a GoFundMe for her. Everybody was sharing it. People were sending her care packages, messages of support all the time. And in this particular video, this was, as in her, waning days. And she made this video where, of course, she thanked everyone. But being Pax, she, of course, flipped it around and made it about everybody else. And I will never forget that what she said at one point in this video was she said, she said, "It is my deep, abiding hope." That after she had explained how all this kindness that had happened to her, that she said she could never repay, she said, "It is my deep, abiding hope that every single one of you will somehow get to experience kindness like this tangible, in-your-face love and kindness." And of course she did, because that's who she was. She doesn't know how to be any other way. She always wanted to spread the kindness. So she has affected the community in a lot of ways that, I always try to remain cognizant of, because a lot of things happened and continue to happen today, even though she's no longer with us. And, the community has been something that I did not expect when I joined BookTube. I did not expect to make all these friends and be talking to so many people and make some very good friends. And a lot of that has to do with her. Not just because that's generally the way she was, but also, very specifics, I met Joe, one half of Book Buds, Joe and Mary, and, because she had alerted me to their channel, and, became friends with Joe, and gradually more and more until, a few months ago, this happened. After she passed, I had a difficult time with it. And I learned some other people that I knew, and in the BookTube community, but hadn't really been close with, were also experiencing the weight of her passing very heavily. Like people like MJ from Reading This Life, and Gareth from Book Songs and Other Magic, and in the wake of this, became very close with them, as in part because we were all experiencing this same thing. And, like I watched these sometimes shorts on this Amuletto channel, and there was this one where there was this woman that had two different friends, and she passed away, and the two different friends were grieving, and they met in their grief. And, when I saw that, I immediately thought of Pax, and I thought of MJ and Gareth. And then I started to cry, and I had to go hide in the bathroom because, really became close with some people after that, and became very, very close with Gareth from Book Songs and Other Magic. We eventually started a live stream together that we do regularly. We chat almost every day, and I'm in America and he's in the UK, and after some time, a couple of days ago, this happened.
Okay, right. Cheers. Cheers to Pax.
And the BookTube community.
That was it.
And that was really a weird experience because I've never before had in my life someone that I consider one of my closest friends and then meet them in person. It was very surreal. But this part of this piece of BookTube, this sort of just community, and emotional support and joy and happiness, this is kind of like what Pax was all about. She was all about this, really into this, and I just thought, like a day like today, I just want to jump on here and just not both to remember Pax for Pax, and also to remember the message that she spread, which is that how thankful we should be and never forget what a wonderful gift this BookTube community is. And I think I'll end with letting her say how she phrased it.
I guess it was just so unexpected. I knew that all of you were my friends, but I didn't know it was to that level. I didn't know you'd paint BookTube green for me. I have racked my brain, like I said. And I just keep coming back to saying thank you. Obviously, it goes without saying that nobody ever has to send me anything or do anything like that. I do this because I love it. I never in a million years expected that, but it has been a blessing. All of you have been blessings. And for as long as I live, however long that may be, I will never forget when BookTube turned green.